Hello YouTube, I hope you're all well, and this is my offerings for the 2020 Sunflower Challenge from Nick's Allotment Diary. And as you can see, as one of the reigning champions from 2019, I don't want to give up my crown too easily. So this is what I will be putting into the this year's challenge. And Nick was, as a winner from last year, Nick was so kind to send us some seeds. So that one of the categories is the tallest sunflower in a container. So I have got quite a large container, and I shall be putting in African Giant and King Kong, and also American Giant, and also those will also go towards the biggest head, which is another category. And the final category is a display of sunflowers, which will be all of these seeds mixed up together. So solar eclipse, red sun, alchemy, which are all kindly donated from Nick. I shall be sowing all of those. I have a collection there which you can see the different varieties there. That one there is Sun King. That is the one that I won with last year as the most unusual. I had one with 3 heads on one stem. I did try to save the seed off that, but the mice got it, unfortunately. But that is the packet of seed that one came from. And also the ones that I grew last year were Black Magic, Magic Roundabout, Sunburst, and also I grow those two as well. That seed there is off a head that I grew about 3 years ago. It was a large head, and I kept them in the greenhouse. I gave the biggest head to a school for the children to grow. But that seed's about 3 years old, so we'll see how that one gets on. And then the wife was given some seeds just there, which are called Dwarf Sunspot. Don't know what they're like. So they'll all go into the final display, full display of sunflowers. So there are my entries for this year's Sunflower Seed Challenge. Great competition. All the best to everybody else. Sweetcorn is one item that I do sometimes have problems with germination. They tend to rot in the ground a bit if you wet them too much and sow them as a hard seed, which they are. So I started chitting mine on the back of what Terry King does. And I find that chitting the larger seeds for me seems to work. I don't do the smaller seeds like Terry does because I'm not quite as disciplined as him with me watering and keeping them moist. And it just doesn't seem to work for me. So the sweet corn, I'm putting in these root trainers. You can see how big they are. I think this is a 60 cell. They are good, these are, but when they're full of water, make sure when you grab both ends and lift up, they don't split in the middle down here, which I have found to happen. So I filled these modules full of compost and left about an inch, 2.5 centimetres at the top, and I've absolutely soaked all that compost with warm water. And what I will do is I'll put the chitted seeds on top of that, and I'll just show you the seeds that I'm going to be putting in there. And there's the sweet corn, which as you can see is chitting away. I put them on the damp tissue about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, put them in the propagator, and by 12 o'clock the following day you could see them starting to chit, which I found quite amazing. So I'll take these out. You can see actually that the stems are starting to come on them as well, and I'll place them root down and on top of there, and then I will top those up with dry compost, completely dry compost. so there's no chance of the seed rotting, and the roots are touching the dampness of the compost underneath. And hopefully that should give me a good full germination, which it did last year, which was my first time of trying it like that. And you can see there how that just sits on the top. If the root is quite strong, you can just tuck it in, but that'll be covered over now with completely dry compost. And there they all are in position, and I shall sieve my compost on top of these for no other reason really than the compost will fall a bit more gentle on them, because those roots are a bit tender, and if they roll over by putting compost on by hand, you've got a chance of breaking those roots off, and it'll just be a case of doing that all over them until they're filled to the top. And there they all are with the sieved compost on top, and I've just popped them in the propagator. It's only set at about 18 degrees. That'll just give a bit of bottom warmth, which will draw them roots down, and as soon as they start to show, I will take them out and keep them on as in cooler conditions as possible within the greenhouse or the polytunnel, and then get them hardened off. I don't have any cold frames outside as yet, but that's one for the future. That variety I've grown is called Golden Bantam. Never grown it before. It isn't an F1 variety. I'm trying to get away from the F1 varieties, and the idea being that I can save the seed from this, and also with it not being an F1 variety, they won't ripen hopefully all at the same time, which F1s tend to do, and then you end up with a full glut. I prefer to pick them and eat them fresh off the plant straight away, but they do freeze absolutely perfect, and there isn't a lot of difference. But it's quite nice to go up and just help yourself and put it straight into hot water. So the idea is we'll get a longer picking season, but we will be freezing as much as we can, because whole, or as in small sweet corn, they're great on the barbecue and everything, and it is one veg that we really do like.